Hello and welcome to GPTV on the most magnificent Tuesday, the 1st of December in the year 2020. My name's Phillip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
And Gary, a very special today, a very special day today.
You know, it's been a long time since he stood up here next to me doing GPTV, so give him a break, okay, because he's just clearly not in his game, but it's a special day today, Phillip.
A very special
Why is
day
that?
today, Gary, because we're now on the countdown, the final countdown,
yes,
as we count our way down to the 31st of December, which will then hit the 1st of January. So in literally 31 full days,
Yep,
including today, we are done and dusted with what has been the worst year for the entire planet, outside, of course, the Second World War and the First World War,
yeah,
and of course the Black Plague
and
of
the Spanish flu
and the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
So other than those things,
yeah,
it's been the worst year, and I can't wait to wave the back to 2020.
Yeah, well, we're not going to look at the rear view. You know, we're not going to look at the rear view mirror, Phil. We're going to look forward, and the words of Bing Crosby, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, Phil. It's got that Christmassy feel. The carols are out. I'm enjoying it. It's that time of year, but there's lots of work to be done before we start bunkering down under the tinsel, Phil, and celebrating the end of year season, festive season, because there is properties to be sold, properties to be listed, places to be leased. How good is it that we've got this sort of freedom again? You take the freedoms for granted, don't you?
Gary, I just want to make it quite clear to the viewers that we're back in the studio.
Oh, we
in,
are.
of course, a socially distant manner. And we've both had a temperature test. We're both feeling fantastic.
No,
Melbourne has been now COVID-free for, you know, something like 30 odd days. So we can't say that the virus has been eliminated, but it is no longer in the state of Victoria. Hence, we're back in the studio. So we're feeling good.
I think they
you
say
look
that,
good, although, you know, you haven't spent a lot of time on personal grooming over the COVID lockdown. And even our cameraman, who is looking somewhat portly, Gary.
Well, you know,
we had a bit of a chat with him before we started filming. He's dressed in black for no other obvious reason than he's increased his girth, Gary.
I think you should leave him alone. Hey, do you ever look at a photo of yourself and think that you don't look like you do in that photo? Like, I saw a photo of an image of an auction I did in the weekend. I thought, that guy's really grey. I didn't even know it was me. I thought, geez, I've gone grey. Grey. And I think working with you all these years has finally taken its toll, and it's put me into a very grey situation in my hair. I never noticed that before.
Well,
actually.
Gary, you started your career. One of your early jobs was working for a very lovely man called Mr. Weller of AJ Weller.
Yes, he was a gentleman, Bob Weller.
He was a terrific, lovely man, and you learned a lot from him, and he was good to you, and you were good to him. But I do remember at the time, Gary, me looking at Mr. Weller. I came to visit you one day in your little office in Glenferrie Road. I came to visit you, and you introduced me to Mr. Weller, and I looked at Mr. Weller and I thought, geez, he's old. And of course, he was about your age and looked very much like you.
Our age, thank you very much. Luckily, he was a handsome man, Phil. Let's move on and talk a bit about property, because there's lots to talk about, Phil. And I've got to say, an 84% clearance rate. What's going on out there? This is a strong market. I've got to tell you, there's people that are
You're ready to call it?
I'm not going to call it. No, I'm not going to call it, you know, what you want me to call it, because that's your kind of, you know, overly excitable terminology, but I'm just going to say...
What are you going to call it then?
I'm going to call it a strong market.
A strong
market and a vendor market.
A strong market.
It's a vendor's market. It's a strong market. Phil, 84% against the industry average of 72%. And put those towers up, thank you very much. And I've got to say, on volume, Phil, 84% on volume. Big weekend, lots of great sales, lots of competition, few record prices. It's been exciting.
Gary, it is very exciting. First of all, it's just exciting to be back.
Oh, yeah.
It's exciting to be back with people standing out on the street looking at the houses. It's exciting to have bidders back. We haven't quite got the coffee vans back yet, but they will come back in late January, early February. But it is, so you want to just call it a nice steady market?
No, strong market. I said strong market.
Normal
say nice steady, don't put words on my mouth.
Under normal circumstances, clearance rates in excess of 80%, which we've now done, I think, 3 weeks in a row, Gary. Under normal circumstances, you would call that a boom, but perhaps it's too early to call.
Don't do the early crow.
It's a little bit like the US elections, where in the first 12 hours, it was a bit too early to call. But then, of course, the facts started to emerge. As the facts are starting to emerge about this market, Gary, I think we're at the start of a boom. In fact, in the financial reviews today...
Don't say that.
In this financial review today, they're talking about property prices in Melbourne rising by 7%.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, against those experts that said, oh, doom and gloom in the middle of COVID, property market's going to drop by 20 to 30%.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, we've gone from a drop of 20 to 30% to an increase in Melbourne of 7%. That's the prediction. Wow. I will say this, Gary, across the weekend, some of our results were so strong.
Yes.
I would have said that we had the market up by 10% easily, given the circumstances of the bidding at our auctions and some of the results, which were incredible.
Yeah.
What have you got to say about that?
I'm not sure about that. Look, I think going the early crow's dangerous. I mean, I know that in the Spring Carnival, Order of Command came, storming at Kemble Passer, and they said, one of my mates said, oh, you're home, you've won. I said, don't go do the early crow on me, mate. And the early crow.
What's an early crow?
The early crow's dangerous. It's when you're calling something before it's happened. Oh, it's a boom, and then all of a sudden, tomorrow, you look at the front page, you go, oh, like the early. You don't go the early crow.
So you reckon this is an early crow?
Don't go the early crow. It's dangerous, but it is a strong market.
Let me ask you this, because you are a betting man, and goodness knows you've got a history of form in the betting department of not actually being that successful.
Losing betting man.
But if you have to call it, right, if there was $1,000 cash on the table, which wasn't yours, you were given by somebody that was generous, who said, Gary, you've got to put it on, you're either going on black or red. Black is a property market that's going to boom, or red is a market that's going to go nowhere. What are you going to do?
Well, zero would come up for me every time, Phil, whenever I go, black or red on the
black or red. Black or red.
The casino's been open a long time, closed a long time, I should say.
Black or red. Black, we're in start of a boom. Red, we're going nowhere.
I think I'll go black.
Okay, there it is.
I'll go black.
There it is.
But I don't like that early crow.
There's the call.
Anyway, we've got too far and too long on the same.
Whatever happened to Order of Command? Is it in my pet's food at the moment?
No, don't be horrible, Phil. Order of Command is having a nice little break. I get videos of it on the beach, frolicking in the sand. Now it gets in that sort of stage, it's having a bit of rest. It'll be back next year. Look out for the Goodwood in Adelaide, Group 1. We're going for that next year, Phil. Order of Command is up and about. His little sister is being trained now by Danny O'Brien, best trainer in Australia. So there we go. Phil, let's just move on and talk about some of the sale results, because they've been exciting. Phil, you started off on Saturday morning in West Beach Road in St Kilda West. We love it in St Kilda West, don't we?
I've got to tell you, viewers, if you've never down... Actually, you might have parked your car in West Beach Road along the journey if you've been to dinner in Fitzroy Street.
Yeah. Or if you went to the beach, maybe.
Yep. So West Beach Road is a street that runs parallel to Fitzroy Street on the Middle Park side. Yep. Gorgeous little street. We had a house at the back of the Gatwick, which you'd all remember as part of the block, and the salubrious Gatwick in its day. And if you've never watched that show about the Gatwick, I recommend that you do. Very awe-inspiring and quite moving. Yep. So where was I going on that? Anyway, I arrived at this property, Gary.
It's at that stage where we start forgetting. Like, you walk into rooms and wonder, what am I doing here? Have you done that yet? I think I've done that a couple of times.
All the time.
Getting worried about us.
Anyway, I arrived there knowing that we were going to have a competitive auction because Nikki and Lamore had done their, as usual, very methodical and very good work. So I arrived there, I got the reserve. Did I know that it was going to be a rocket ship, this auction? No, I didn't. I knew I was going to have a relatively easy time, viewers, but this was a rocket ship, Gary. Sold for many hundreds of thousands of dollars over the reserve.
In the words of Mel James, it was a volcano. He calls
them
volcanoes when there's four bids.
James report.
When there's four bidders or more, Philip, quoted 1.2 to 1.3 made us look stupid because it sold for $1,660,000 so far above the reserve. But that can happen, Phil. I mean, a lot of auctions, not all of them went like that, but some of them just do go through the roof. And of course, they're the ones we're going to talk about, aren't we? I guess. But Phil, Havana Court. That was undisclosed, but well done to David Thompson.
Love the name of the court, Havana Court. Wouldn't you love to live in Havana Court?
You'd be there with your big cigar, with your Tony Montana accent.
You'd just be happy all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. You'd have. Hey, this is a bit of a. That's a bit of a. That's all right.
You put your hand outside the green screen.
Type hat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see you finally wearing a hat. You made mockery of me for so long, me wearing a hat. I would say, though, Gary...
Well, a bit of skin cancer on your face, that solves that problem.
This hat
doesn't become as funny anymore.
Doesn't give you a lot of sun protection. I did notice on the weekend that your brim's not wide enough. So
that's a bit personal, isn't it?
You're kidding. You're kidding. You've always had a small brim. You're kidding yourself, Gary, if you think that's going to give you much protection. That's a cap. That's a hat that Darren Krongold should wear because his face is covered in his beard, but it's when you don't have any hair on the top, that covers the bald head. That's not much use to you.
So why should he have it?
Because he's got a bald head.
Well, does he need protection of his head?
No, he does. I mean, he could wear that hat. That's sensible for him.
Okay,
but it's not sensible for you.
Oh, okay, well, there we go. From Havana Court, we've gone to me being abused for my hat. That didn't take long, did it? 34 A Cedar Street, Phil. I think you were there.
I
you did
was
that
not
auction.
only was I there, I was there right through the campaign.
Sold for $1,300,000, Phil.
Shout
within the range.
Shout out to our vendors there who were they were the nicest people. They're still the nicest people. But great job done there by Maxine Bakarski and, of course, Benjamin Rothschild, who worked on that. Great job they
I'll
did.
see your nice vendor and raise you a nice vendor, Phil, because the vendors that I dealt with at 57 Oakleigh Road, Carnegie, when I met Joel Sir, were also the most lovely people. We're lucky in our business.
We are.
We do get to meet extraordinary people. They were so lovely.
And as I've said, really, what keeps us so fascinated by our business is not, of course, the meagre amount of money that we've made over 2020. Well, that keeps us motivated. But what we love about our business is we do get to meet such incredible people, and we get to come inside their lives in really what's quite an intimate way. You know, you're inside their homes. You get to know them.
That didn't sound savoury.
Well, you get to know them in a way that most casual observers of relationships don't get to know their clients, but we do, and I'm blessed to say that we have some of the nicest people in our lives.
And one of the things I say, Phil, is we get to work with great people. We get to go to work with great people as well, which is one of the great pleasures.
Very good point.
Phil, anyway, Oakleigh Road sold for $1,315,000, hundreds of thousands of dollars above the expectation of reserve there, Phil. 36 Emily Street. Well, there's another thumper. What about Carnegie? What the bloody hell is going on in Carnegie? Can you just tell me?
Well, I don't know whether you need to use that kind of that Aussieism.
Yeah, I'm going to use it, Phil, because I'm outraged.
But I can tell you this, Gary. What was the question?
Yeah, I can't remember, Darren.
What's going on in
Carnegie? Hey, Phil, sold this one. This is a bit of a hey, Phil. What's going on in Carnegie? I think we should put the hey, Phil icon because we haven't had it for a while. And I'm not outraged. I'm befuddled by what's going on in Carnegie because we know it's good, but it's gone
by
just
the
like that.
If you're a cartoonist that watches this show, we'd love a little hey, Phil kind of thing that we can put up there.
Animation,
For all, Lunig, who watches this show and gets a lot of material from our show. Lunig, Michael Lunig, if you're watching this, we'd like a kind of hey Phil moment. But Carnegie, Gary, we always knew that opening an office in Carnegie was going to be a good move. We also knew that opening it with Leo Samuel and the team there was going to be an extra special move. That has just grown and grown and grown. And now, of course, that link that we've got where we go, St Kilda, 2 offices in St Kilda, 2 offices in Caulfield, Carnegie, Murrumbeena, Bentleigh. We've now got this beautiful kind of arc going through some of the best real estate in Melbourne. What a strategy it was that we just had no idea.
I always love it when people think we know what we're doing. They don't actually realise we've got no idea.
So somebody says that to me the other day. They said, you've got this incredible arc going, Bentleigh, Murrumbeena, Carnegie, Caulfield, St Kilda. And they said, genius strategy. And of course I said, we spent a lot of time
planning and, in those meetings and planning with our mentors.
We had Accenture, we had Accenture and Deloitte and all of the, we even had McKinsey came in and
hundreds of thousands,
millions of dollars to come up with the strategy that has proven to be so good. So coming back to Hayfield, Carnegie just firing, but as is Bentleigh, as is St Kilda.
No, Carnegie's just a different. I mean, if you go into REA,
it's a steam train.
You look at sale results in Carnegie. We're just selling everything. It's just gone nuts. I'm sorry to the other agents, not really, but not a bit of saying
not at all.
No, 36 Emily Street, Phillip, $2 million. Now in Carnegie for a period home.
Gary, we've been saying for quite some time, 2 million is the new 1 million. 1 million is the new 500,000, and increasingly 500,000 is the new deposit.
You've been saying that for a while, but I've never said that ever.
I know,
but hang on, $2 million, Phil. That's a record price. Moment to boast, record price in Carnegie, Phil.
For what?
For a house in Carnegie this year.
I mean, I think that's
the highest price, Phil, this year in Carnegie, or the last 2 years, according to Leo Samuel. And he's Rain Man, he's like Rain Man. He just works things out, so you don't mess with him. Don't challenge him. Don't.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
I
don't try it. Phil, hey, 26 Evelyn
I'm
Street.
pretty sure that's
That's right. No, I'm telling you now, he knows his stuff. It's definitely the highest price in that street on this Saturday.
It was the highest price. At what number Emily Street was it?
The highest price at 36 Emily Street ever got sold for.
Ever sold for in 2020.
Yeah, in that street on that day.
Yeah, by you. No, by Lior.
By Lior, yeah.
No, I think it's wearing a grey suit.
No, I think it's a record price last 2 years, I believe. Anyway, we'll find out. Maybe we'll flash something up, record, and if I'm right, I'm sure I am. 26 Evelyn Street, pretty house, Phillip.
Note to the editor, just flash up record anyway.
Yeah, if it's right. No, it's correct. $1,075,000, Phil, we sold 26 Evelyn Street for.
We did.
Pretty home. 6 tennis grove.
Gorgeous little house, that.
Tennis, anyone? 30 love. Tell me about Tennis Grove. How'd you go there?
Well, if you've never been down Tennis Grove, you drive to Tennis Grove, Caulfield North, runs off Alma Road near the intersection of Kooyong Road. A beautiful tree-lined avenue full of plane trees, which is somewhat of a mystery how that street got the plane trees in Caulfield and no other street other than Orrong Road did. I suspect the mayor of Glen used to live in that street. Anyway, cynical viewers, do your research. But that was very competitive, Gary. Loveliest couple that we were selling that house for, who really were very reluctant to part with the home because they loved it. Owned it for 15 years, and funnily enough, Gary, we sold it to a lovely couple that we both know were looking to buy something, but they were drawn to the property because they had rented next door.
Oh, there you go.
And knew how wonderful the property was.
It is wonderful.
It is.
Fantastic. Phil, where do you go after Tennis Grove? To Squash Court or something, I suppose, do you? Where do you go after that? Phil, Hawthorn Road, just around the corner from here, opposite the park. Love that building, 74 Hawthorn Road.
Yeah, it's a really good building, that one.
The auction, the range there, 780 to 840, sold for 910. I think it was 5 or 6 bidders. Brought on to Joel Sir. Congratulations to our vendors there. Going to Perth, I think, Phil. Vendors have said, we're going to Perth here. And of course, I don't know.
Are you allowed to go to Perth?
Yeah, I think so.
No, I don't think Western Australia has opened its borders.
I think they're there already. You can't even. I don't know. We're not allowed to even talk to anyone from Western Australia at the moment because they hate the rest of Australia, I think. They just don't want us near them. Phil, that's some of the auction results. There's so many more. A few properties didn't sell, not many, but there's some good ones that didn't sell. In fact, I think there's not many homes better than that one in Winston Drive. It didn't sell, Phil. And Wilk Street.
And Whitmere Road.
And Whitmere Road. So put up some images of those three while we're bantering here because they are wonderful homes. Phil, we've got a lot of auctions. We've got 34 of them coming up. We want to make this
weekend,
quick. 34 this weekend. We're in 14 suburbs. We've got a couple of properties to make a bit of noise about.
Some caffeine.
You'll have to get drugged up with coffee, Phil, that's for sure.
Snort a line of Coke before the auctions?
Yeah, well, I prefer Coke Zero because it's better for you. So, although the bubbles sometimes get a bit caught in your nose. Phil, that's a silly thing to say, by the way, because people that would, not what I've said, what you've said, because people would think, well, that guy, Phillip Kingston, maybe he is that sort of person, but
so
of course
just for the record, viewers, I am
seriously
anti-drugs.
Yeah, I think I'm more anti-drugs than you are, actually. No, I am.
I am. I'm on record, this is a true story, in 1971, I wrote a letter to the Prime Minister John Gorton, asking asking him to ban cigarettes because my mother smoked at the time, and I was terrified that she was going to get lung cancer.
And didn't even know people were going to get sick.
So I was ahead of my time.
My mother was giving me cigarettes.
All of my understanding. So I wrote to the Prime Minister saying, "Dear Prime Minister, would you please ban cigarettes because my mother smokes and I think she'll get lung cancer and die." He wrote a letter back.
Did he?
Which somehow got in our family memorabilia, of course, got lost. And
that's because it was your father who wrote it, signed it as John Gorton to make you feel good.
It was written back from the Prime Minister saying, "Look, we can't. We live in a democracy. We can't ban cigarettes, but I'm sure your mother won't die." And you know what? He was right. She's still alive and well, and still giving me a hard time, Gary.
No, don't, Ned. Be careful with your parents. Respect them, Phillip, because they are wonderful people, and they're good. They're good. They're good. And your father's not young, but he's fantastic. He still goes out and plays golf. He's
going to be 90 next year.
He's unbelievable.
Yep.
Shout out to Pauline and David. And thanks for letting me stay in the farm and all those old days. And I'm sorry I didn't make my bed very well, and I really wasn't all that hygienic, but I did enjoy it there. Phil, I've got some properties to talk about.
And you slept in?
Yeah, I slept in.
I didn't like my mother's food?
No, but I had twisties, so I was happy. Phillip, 80 to 82 Kooyong Road.
Although my mother did in frustration, because you never, ever, you didn't like this and you didn't like that.
I'm still a fussy eater.
The fussiest eater. And of course,
you
didn't like lamb. Well, that's a bit dumb because you were staying on a farm that produces lamb. So my mum just called it veal and you had a second helping.
Those Kingstons, you've got to watch them.
A true story. Oh, this veal's really lovely, Pauline.
Yeah, I like the veal. Anyway, I think she fooled you.
And to this day, you still don't like lamb, unless
And to this
of course
day, you
it's
still
called
don't
veal.
know that it was your father who wrote the John Gorton letter, and it really was veal. Just she didn't want you to have any of it. Shall we move on? 80 to 82. Kooyong Road, Caulfield North. Phillip, this is an iconic site. This is the FBI travel site. It's a magnificent corporate headquarters. You could do a development there if you wanted to live there. I don't think you can because it's not a residential
Commercial
property.
one zoning, Gary.
But what a great
Although
property, Phil.
residential developers, of course, are looking at this site.
Of course they are, Phil.
Because subject to council approval, you'll be able to do a residential development there.
Big parcel of land,
But
Phil.
it can be a corporate headquarters, Gary. It can be a development site for commercial and or residential, of course, subject to council approval.
And
but
FBI travel.
it's a once in a lifetime because
Yep.
it's in excess of 1,000 metres, has a 2-street frontage.
Yes.
And that part of Kooyong Road, it's really the commercial. It's only the little bit of commercial that is in Caulfield outside Balaclava Road. So incredible opportunity.
Want to talk about that site, Phil? And I think we have, and it's a good one to get down and have a look at. And if you want to do any travel, use FBI Travel because they are fantastic. They have been servicing the piers, difficult piers for years. Very happy with them. Phil, a couple of other properties just to talk about that are coming up. We've got another one in 18 Cambea Grove, this magnificent period home. Jeremy Rosen's been involved in this.
Yes, I've got auction honours there, Gary.
Not for a while.
That's a house that's been in the family for many years. They've lived in it, they've loved it, they've reluctantly scaled down from that home as the family have taken flight from the nest. So that's a beautiful house, number 18, lucky number, of course, 18 in Cambea Grove, in that part of Caulfield North.
It's significant, isn't it? Phil, there's another home that's not up this weekend, but I want to just give it a bit of a shout out to the vendors because they are GPTV watchers, and it's always interesting to know who are the GPTV watchers because I think there's about 10 people altogether.
No, you say that, but you diminish the popularity of the show, Gary.
Because I like to laugh at ourselves,
This
Phil,
show is
because everybody else is doing it.
This show is distributed through YouTube, it's distributed over the internet,
it's Channel 9,
via our website,
Foxtel, CNN.
it's distributed by Facebook and Instagram. So there are some people that do watch us overseas.
BBC.
Like that wonderful Malaysian viewer that watched
him.
GPTV from his rubber plantation north of Kuala Lumpur.
And he jumped on a plane, Phil, and he flew to Melbourne and he bought a home in Octavia
in the
Street.
days that you could actually get on a plane.
Because indeed, Philip, this home at 36...
Will you travel internationally before the vaccine is out?
Internationally, second I can. See, I've found it interesting when I talked to you about jumping on a plane. And you had this look of, I'd jump on a plane tomorrow. But you were fearful.
No, I'm just careful.
Yeah. Well,
I'm careful and sensible.
I think you're a little fearful, alarmist person.
Do you know what? I'm not sure I'm ready to get into an aluminium tube with 180 other people all huffing and breathing and taking Alan Joyce's word for that the sanitising of the air is really efficient.
See, he's very nervous. I just jump on the no problem. You know what? They just get on there, Phil. You'll work it out.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. Now, let's talk about 36 Morgan Street, Carnegie, Phil, because this is a
Can you imagine being that person on a plane over the next 12 months that sneezes?
Yeah, I know.
Right, you don't want to sneeze on a plane for the next 5 years.
And I can imagine that would be the person directly behind you, Phil. You just lean forward, he did it. Phil, 36 Morgan Street, Carnegie is a magnificent period home. Again, in red hot Carnegie. This is a great street too, not far from the park, Phil, not far from Kooyong Road. This is a beautiful 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom home, Philip, with plenty of parking.
Gary, I've seen a lot of houses, but this house is magnificent, as is Morgan Street. Morgan Street's a really beautiful street. If you've never taken a drive down Morgan Street, I suggest you do because it's one of the best streets, I think, of Carnegie, and there are many, but that's a really good street and an incredible house.
Come and have a look at that. Not yet auctioned, but we're reviewing it and previewing it as a feature home. Phil, let's get into our listings. You can go and have a little sip there, Phil, but we've got 34 auctions over 14 suburbs this weekend. Should we start ripping through them, Phil? Can we do so?
Rip through them, Gary. Let's have a look.
We're not waiting until the weekend, Philip, because we've got 2 shops in Glen, Huntley Road, 639 and 641.
Great opportunity there, Gary.
Wonderful property.
Well, you get 2 shops and on 526 square metres of land, so really interesting buying opportunity.
Thursday, Phil, we're going to be in Merton Street doing a twilight auction for this magnificent home.
Merton Street, one of the best streets of Caulfield North, and this is one of the most glamorous homes. I've done the video tour there. It's a large parcel of land in excess of 900 or around 900 square metres, north-facing back garden, stunning house, complete with a conversation pit, which when you see it, you will fall in love.
A David Edelman masterpiece, Phil, that's since been renovated and looks absolutely beautiful. Phil, we've got triple auction action starting off on Saturday morning. We're going to be in Gittin Avenue, so getting down there to Gittin Avenue
in Glen Waverley. We've had a lot of sales in Glen Waverley, Gary. This is 902 square metres, so that I believe will go very well. Very popular real estate and very popular properties with large land components, of which that house does have.
Phil, if I said I want you to show me the way, could you tell who sang that?
Show me the way.
I want you to show me the way.
No,
it's not show me the way to go home.
St Peter?
Close. It was Peter Frampton, actually.
Okay.
It wasn't Hey St Peter, but it was Peter Frampton. And we're selling in Frampton Street. His namesake, 10:30 a.m.
Gorgeous home. This one, a cool cosmopolitan lifestyle awaits. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, off-street car parking. Stunning inside.
Jeremy Rosen's auctions, 4 auctions at 11:30. Phil, we're starting off in Anzac Street, Carnegie. You couldn't forget that address, Phil, because the Anzacs stand strong, Phil.
Yes, impressive proportions. This one, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of car parking, stunning timber floors, beautifully renovated, not a cent to spend.
Phil, you roll
after
up
you've
to
bought it, of course.
Of course, you roll up to your first auction, Philip, at 11:30 a.m. on Saturday morning in Rogers Avenue.
Yes, what a wonderful home this is. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and of course just beautiful garden areas. That is a really good family home with off-street car parking for, well, it's definitely 2 in the carport, maybe 2 in front.
I love this Art Deco home. I've got the auction on as Philip at 11:30 on Saturday in Lucas Street. What a great looking and beautiful home.
It is, Gary. Lucas Street is such a wonderful spot. I drove past this one the other day because we've got a property around the corner in Raynes Street. So great little pocket. You can walk to the tram. You can walk to Turquoise, which I believe does a very good chicken salad, Gary.
It does indeed, Philip. Peachtree Place in Heatherton is where we're going to be.
What a gorgeous name, Peachtree Place. I live in Peachtree Place. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, double garage. That's a really good property that you can move straight into and not spend a cent after you've bought it.
Graham Callan will not do an auction on the half hour. He's doing it on the hour at high noon, 12 noon, and he's going to be in Mitcham, Phil, in Prince Edward Avenue.
Yes, Gary, he's been successful in Mitcham before. So 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, parking for 2 cars, a really good family home.
Double auction action, Philip, at 12:30. You're going to be doing the auction for Leon Guzenfitter in Munya Road, Carnegie.
Yes,
we love it in Carnegie.
Gary, stunning home, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. This is a beautiful home in every conceivable way. Congratulations to the developer who has done such a beautiful job there.
Great floor plan, great address, and wonderful apartment in Avoca Avenue, Elwood. Lamore has been handling this.
Don't we love Avoca Avenue, Gary? Don't we love Elwood? That's got everything. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. It's got the lot, Gary. We love it.
Triple auction action, Philip, at 1:30. We're going to be in Belsize Avenue, Carnegie. This one comes up with Leo Samuel auctioning with Jack Slater.
Jack Slater, yes, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. A really good sized kitchen with a living dining area. 2 good sized bedrooms.
I don't think life gets cooler than Maddock Avenue in Windsor, Phil. Great suburb, full of cafes and wonderful life. Phil, cosmopolitan living. This is a terrific property.
Gary, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and you're right. Live the Chapel Street dream down the Windsor end, which is, of course, the cool end. Living there, jump on the train, go into the city, do your job, come home, and then just enjoy summer nights in the gorgeous wine bars and cafes of Chapel Street.
You can indeed, Philip. 1:30 p.m. you're going to be in Elsternwick. We love it in Elsternwick. We love Davis Street, and this is a terrific.
Walk to the Classic Cinema, Gary, which is finally open. We've been waiting for the Classic.
I went and saw a movie there the other
Well, good on you for being one of the first to be back there, but it's great. And what a great community asset the Classic Cinema is, but how good is Glen Huntly Road? And you're just around the corner from Glen Huntly Road, so you've got all of the wonderful cosmopolitan chaos, but you've got suburban living in Davis Avenue in this Davis Street in this beautiful cottage.
Let's finish off, Philip, in Manchester. It's Manchester Grove, Glen Huntly. Leo Samuel going to be back in his hood. That one goes
Gary,
up 2:30.
popular position there because you've got Glen Huntly Road, Glen Huntly shops on your doorstep together with the train station and the supermarket and the cafes. I love that spot.
Phil, that brings down the curtain on Saturday. We've got a busy Sunday, double auction action, 10:30 a.m. In Raynes Street we start with what a great looking home.
Gary, Urban Empire have created the most beautiful 2-storey town residence. This is one of the best you'll see. It's got absolutely everything, including a lift. It's got some of the most beautiful architectural features. The interior fit out is sensational. I'm a big fan of their work, Gary, and this is a standout landmark property of its type.
You would remember we worked on all of these beautiful terrace houses in Glen Road many years ago, Phillip. Now 192 Glen Road hits the market.
I do remember these, Gary. I remember when a developer that we know very well got their hands on this and cut them all up and separated them.
Yes.
But great location. You've got Caulfield Grammar on your doorstep, as you do have Glen Huntly Road, the shops, the train station, wonderful location.
Double auction action, 11:30. Phillip, Jeremy Rosens is the auctioneer. He's got a busy weekend. He's going to be in Balaclava, Grosvenor Street.
He is, Gary. What a great opportunity that is for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 1-car space, really beautifully renovated apartment.
And you're literally 1 or 2 streets away at the same time, Phil, in the Avenue, auctioning this stunning looking property.
Gary, it is a stunning looking property, that's for sure. It's a 3-bedroom apartment, which is always hard to find. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 3 basement car parks. So that is an incredible home.
We love these oversized apartments, and we'll call them oversized, Phillip. At 12:30, we're at triple auction action. We're going to be at 11355 Alma Road, Leo Samuel Auctions. This
great location there because you can walk to Glenferrie Road, High Street, the Armadale train station, the trams on Dandenong Road, easy access, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. That is a really good property, and it's more than a car space, Gary. It's a lock-up garage.
Massive block of land in Inkerman Road going up with you as the auctioneer.
737 square metres of the primest of prime Caulfield North land that faces north at the back, directly opposite the second best park in Melbourne, which is of course Caulfield Park, only second to the Royal Botanic Gardens. So big call there on Caulfield Park, but we love it. We love it, and that's a great opportunity.
9848 Glen Huntly Road. We've sold in this block before, and what a great address and what a great building.
Well, Mark Kirkham's going to have some fun there, Gary. This is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space. That is a really, really good property, and good on him for having such a great listing.
We're going to have lots of fun at 1:30. We've got 4 auctions, Phillip. I'm meeting Daniel Peer. It's a wonderful property in Oak Grove. Now, this is a really exquisite property.
Well, Gary, it's a pretty cool looking place. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a car space. That is a really, really schmick looking home.
Yeah, beautiful external living areas there, Phillip. Al fresco living at its finest in a great location. Phillip, Freeman Street, we know that's a great spot. We are looking forward to auctioning that one.
Gary, we love these properties. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 lock-up garage. We love those kind of 1960s, 1970s villas. You've got some decking area, a courtyard opportunity. That is a really, really good property.
Simon Rodolnik is going to be auctioning for Glen Bricker in Latrobe Street, a terrific address.
Gary, not only is it a terrific address, but 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a double lock-up garage, right in one of what I consider to be a terrific street of Caulfield South, just off Glen Huntly Road.
You don't want to get your oaks mixed up, Phil, because we're at Oak Grove and in Oak Crescent, all at the same time, Phillip. At 1:30, Benjamin Rothschild has been handling this. You're the auctioneer. Wonderful.
Gary, shout out to the developers of this property because it is beautiful. We've sold for them before. Husband and wife building team that have set records in Caulfield, and this is their latest product. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a double lock-up garage. So a really beautiful home, complete with a lift.
I wish I could shout out to the developers or the builders of this home. We're about to auction in Crimea Street, Phillip, but sadly they're no longer here because they were my parents who built this wonderful block of apartments way back in the 60s, Phillip, or maybe late 60s, early 70s in Crimea Street. Looking forward to selling that one.
Yes, Gary. Look, you know, there'll be a certain amount of nostalgia and sentiment with this property, but it's great to be there. Apartment number 5, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and yes, I always drive past that building. I look up and I think about your mum and dad.
And I did live in that building, Phil, and had some
You
fun
did
doing
too.
so. You were across the road at the time, if I'm not mistaken. 32A Cedar Street, we're going to be auctioning that one. This is a fine looking home, also going to be going off at 2:30. In fact, I'm the auctioneer.
3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. This is beautiful, Gary. Brand new, and it's got everything that opens and shuts, and we love Cedar Street.
There's no better street in Caulfield South than Burindy Road. We know that, Phillip, and we're auctioning number 66A and looking forward to it.
Even if you're not a buyer for a property like this, come down and have a look because it sets a new standard in town residences. This is beautiful, 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, and wait till you see the ensuite bathroom of this property. It is incredible.
Phil, we're auctioning Glen Road, this fantastic unit, 1 of 4 only, nestled in the back, great floor plan, great location, and beautifully appointed. Jeremy Rosens is the auctioneer for that one.
What a great location. Walk to the tram in Hawthorn Road, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a lock-up garage.
But 3 auctions to go, Philip, at 3:30.
I'm exhausted. We haven't even started.
You're going to be exhausted because you're doing the last 3 auctions as well, Philip. We're going to be in Kooyong Road, terrific looking property.
15B Kooyong Road is a magnificent 2-storey residence of 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a lock-up garage, and with one of the nicest back gardens you're ever likely to see. And then I moved down the road
8 doors up, Phil,
to one at 31 Kooyong Road, which is a magnificent and very large 2-bedroom apartment, huge entertaining areas, 2 bedrooms, 1 big bathroom, a double lock-up garage in tandem. But one of the big bonuses there, Gary, is massive courtyard garden.
You can wrap up your weekend in another absolutely sensational property, Philip. Hawthorn Road, 452 Hawthorn Road. You can bring the curtain down on a big weekend. You're going to be not much fun on Sunday night, are you?
Gary, let's just talk about Hawthorn Road. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms and car parking for 4 in the basement. So a real penthouse there, Gary. A beautiful apartment.
That's an extraordinary apartment.
I'm exhausted, Gary. I'm going to have to go home right now and just rest up for the weekend.
Yep, and make sure you have plenty of coffee, Phil, plenty of Coke, a cola, that is, of course, and get yourself...
And a silly reference to drug taking.
Yes,
hopefully no children were watching this show. And of course, no animals were harmed in the filming of Gary Pure GPTV.
And any representation to anybody alive is just fictitious. It's,
Yes.
Yeah. Is that enough disclaimers? Okay, well, that's a big wrap.
And this is not a show necessarily of facts. It's essentially a show based on opinion. Yeah. So all of those lawyers, QCs and High Court judges that are watching this show, just laugh.
And the opinions don't reflect the view of the editors as well. Is that enough? We've got enough political correctness? Well, look, that's a big wrap on GPTV. It's gone over time, but we haven't been together in the studio for a long time, and we haven't been able to bring so many auctions to you for, I don't know, maybe ever. But it's a big weekend. There's lots going on. There's a vibe in the market. It's strong, and we'll continue bringing you the news on GPTV, and we'll see you next week. I'm Gary Pearce.
I'm Phillip Kingston. Great to be back, and thanks for watching.